Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. Happy Friday to everyone. Sorry for being pretty late on the stream tonight. But it's, you know, we're at war, so things don't necessarily go on my schedule. They go on the schedule of the war. Since we are at war, I'm actually used to sitting in a certain way, so I'm going to adjust myself a little bit. Hopefully the sound is pretty good. Mad Mania, welcome to you. What's up? I believe 1029 is probably getting ready for a war soon, and let me let you know it's the same as it's ever been. Pretty intense. To give you all just a current update on what's happening, current status. We are healing a couple of forts here. So it could be that we get some action on this stream. The enemy has not rallied us for a few hours. And so we do have a couple of forts healing. We even have a flag that's healing pretty nicely here. So things are quiet at the moment, but you never know what's going to kick off, and it does look like there's a little bit of scrapping going on. Oh, there actually is. Okay, so we've got a little stuff we can get in on, actually. Maybe I'll just get in on some stuff right here. Kick off the stream that way. I don't even have a boost on. I'm gonna just do a 25% because I don't think we're gonna do that much fighting here. No reason to pop the 50. And while I'm streaming and talking to my friends, and I do like to give tips here and there. Okay, so this is a perfect example. What I do now, and I just started doing this like 2 hours ago, is that instead of just multi-queuing right off the rip, like the first time I start fighting, after I've just not been fighting for a while, I will actually just not multi-queue, and I'll bring my marches out one at a time. Because I just want to look at my gear and be like, do I have gear on the right marches? And I'm doing that because earlier today, I literally fought without gear on my Boudica because it was on Zug for chaining barbs. And I fought without my best cav gear on Nevsky because it was on double C because he was chaining barbs. So I fought for like, not like super significant fights, but like somewhat significant fights. Without like having anywhere near my best gear. And Boudica was literally naked fighting all day. So yeah, I'm just gonna pull things out and see what it looks like. We're fighting like a ton of really big like whales in this KvK, so you can't just run into the enemy, you gotta kind of see what's going on. Looks like everything ended already. Pirate Paco is doable. There's so many Chinese names that we're fighting against that a lot of them you don't really know. But I'm definitely aware of King Beth. You know what? I couldn't find... I'm going to show a lot of clips. Cherry, welcome to the stream. Mad Mania, 12th October in a KvK with AC, BC, and CC. There you go. Well, it's all in the matchup, right? At the end of the day, KvK is all in the matchup. Yeah, I couldn't find the. I'm gonna do a recap of some of the. Like it's gonna be. I'm gonna give you a war update. I'm gonna give you an update on a war that has lasted 7 days and promises to last quite a bit longer. I could not find the clip where I scouted a bunch of the 1393 whales, but you know, King Beth has a lot of resources. And I mean, honestly, I can do this right now because I like noticed where all these cities were earlier. But here's the king, Vivian. And as I'm scouting Vivian, I will be fair and point out that Vivian has gathered a lot of resources. Vivian is 5th in resources. We have a very old kingdom as our allies in 1020. I believe this, I don't know a ton about 1020, but I heard that they sort of like reformed, like used to be a kingdom, and then like the king, I think Piro is a pretty well-known player, and so the king sort of returned to 1020 and reformed this kingdom to be pretty strong. So 1020 is an ally of ours, and we're hoping they will be... Okay, so yeah, okay, here we go. Yeah. Okay, so Ark is definitely someone who watches my stream. And... and he's talking some trash, but that's alright. Looks like his margins are kind of small. Did he not pop an expansion or something? Oh, this person's getting zeroed. Oh, okay, that's what's happening. This person's getting zeroed. Okay. So, yeah. Alright, Okay, here's the thing, right? They all have tons of resources, so, like, there's not, like, a ton of point in, like, these, like, you know, pointless open field fights, like, especially if we don't trade well in them. And he's got 5 marches and I got 4, so there's just no reason to fight this. There's just no reason to fight this. You know? Alright, so we're kicking off with some action. Okay, so here's Vivian, right? Vivian has 42, 61. Vivian has 75. Vivian has 75 billion resources on her. And so that's kind of what we're up against here in this KvK. We're on day 7 of a war. We're fighting in zone 5. LN93 has 6 stars, and their allies 2217, who I was not familiar with before this KvK, but they are a very strong kingdom. They have 5 stars. So we're, and the thing about, I guess I'm just jumping right into it here. The thing about these two kingdoms is that LN93 is Taiwanese. So they're like an Asian kingdom. Okay, I should probably help here. Right? No. So I guess no, I should not help. Right, so shout out to AJ who's here fighting. Yeah, so LN93 is a Chinese 6-star kingdom. And then LX17 is a 5-star American European kingdom. So they literally have like perfect time zone coverage. Whereas for the vast majority of the KvK camp pairings that I've ever seen, you tend to match people up like with similar languages, and a lot of times the two or three kingdoms in a camp often have like similar time zones. These guys just magically, by the magic of Lilith matchmaking, have like perfect time zone coverage where the Americans and the Europeans cover, you know, 12 hours a day, and then the Chinese cover the other 12 hours. So that's the situation. We have this fort wall here in Zone 5 that our leader Adinavo brilliantly put together. So like they literally can't. They have to go through our forts. To take us out of this zone, they have to go through our forts. And then yesterday, we did a fort hop, or we did a flag hop over here, and then we did fort drops, and had a very big war that very big battle that lasted. It lasted around 24 hours. There were obviously downtimes during it, but it lasted about 24 hours. They eventually collapsed our territory. You know, we expanded and then they collapsed it. And so we're back to these 2 forts that we dropped. And they are healing. They are healing. So, and we are even healing a flag because they tried to rally this flag earlier and it hurt. It hurt them. I'll show you, I guess I'll show that report. It's fine. Yeah, here's one of the reports, I think. No, that's not it. Oh, you know what? I don't think I have it on my main. Yeah, I don't have the report on my main, unfortunately. Anyway, I will show you some reports later. I'm gonna keep these marches out while I update on the chat. Barney, welcome to the stream. HTT Nation, welcome to the stream. And look, if anybody wants to get on voice chat, I am in the live streaming Discord channel, and you all are welcome to jump on and hang out, either now or later. That would be totally cool with me. I think what we'll do tonight is I will give you an update on this war. I do need to crack some eggs. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put one march in each city, so I don't have to keep pulling them out. Oops. I do need to do the egg event. We can do Champions of Olympia later, if anybody wants to do Champions of Olympia with me. We'll check in on the 1093 365 KvK. And chat about whatever anybody wants to chat about. Here, let me gather this node for a few seconds here. Oh, is this EasyVamp trying to get something here? Okay. I can kill that guy. I can't kill this, but I can kill that guy. I'm gonna share this stream out real quick. I want to make sure I do that, because people have been asking me to stream for a while, both in the KvK and you know, on the YouTube channel. So let me just share this out a few places, let people know that I'm streaming. Happy to talk about the KvK with anybody who's here involved. I think part of the reason I've not streamed so far is I've not been really exactly sure how to talk about this KvK, because I mean, the main reason is just because it's still happening, right? Like, it's still, this war is still fully going on. Our allies basically won two of the zone 5s. I'm saying that we lost this zone. We haven't fully lost it, but the enemy has like the vast majority of the zone. They have all the entrances into zone 5. We won Nevers uncontested. Actually, the enemy did a fort drop earlier today. That's why all these flags were built. They did a fort drop like right here, but we reached it and they deleted it before we rallied it. The enemy won this zone of Berry, right? So our allies here are not able to enter Ile-de-France. And so we're looking at a 1 versus 2 in Ile-de-France. This was a uncontested zone with our allies. And then our allies 903 and 1020 are winning the zone of Maine. Are they fully... It looks like they're just finishing it up. You know, it looks like there's just a few little things still to go. Barney, welcome to Officer Chat. Very happy to have you. Alloys, welcome to the stream. Yeah, Barney is my teammate, another member of the Handsome Devils, and Barney's becoming a good friend. You know, he's very busy in the off season. He's a truck driver. I'm not necessarily super busy in the off season, but we kind of do the same thing. We're pretty quiet in the off season, and then during war, we're on voice a lot. We're talking to people, and you know, Barney and I just kind of, I don't know, we just kind of have I don't know if it's a similar point of view, or it's just easy guy to talk to, easy guy to relate to. So Barney, very happy to have you as a part of Officer Chat. Thanks, welcome to the stream. Is that what it is? All right, let me see if you're getting picked up. All right, say something else. Okay, you're probably not yet. You probably aren't yet. But
I'm hearing it through Discord, but I'm not hearing it through YouTube, which I have up on my laptop.
So I'm going to turn my mic up, but then they won't be able to hear Barney. How did I do this last time?
I'm hearing it through Discord, but I'm not hearing it through YouTube, which I have up on my laptop. Okay, I just actually heard myself like 15 seconds later.
Okay, so the only question is whether I'm double speaking now. Pasta Man, I think you'll be able to hear me now. We're messing with being able to like talk on Discord, and like you guys hear Barney, but then also you can hear me. Maybe what I'll do is I'll mute my mic on Discord. Yeah, I'll just mute my mic on Discord, and then I'll be fine. Now. Okay, I think this might work actually. All right, I'm gonna just listen to, well. All right, 1 second, guys. 1 second. 1 second. Sorry if I double speak here.
YouTube there for a second. Turn it to Discord, but not hearing it through YouTube, which I have up on my laptop.
All right, I'm gonna turn the music way down because Barney's a little low.
Okay, I just actually heard myself like 15 seconds later.
Second. 1 second. Sorry if I double speak here.
YouTube there.
All right. I'm not sure if this is working or not, but we're gonna mess with it for a minute, and then we'll test it. Anyway, like the reason I haven't streamed is because I just haven't known exactly how to talk about this KvK. There's just like a bunch of things where there's a bunch of stuff where, first of all, it's actively ongoing. And so how do you, I don't want to talk about what I think of the enemy because that gives them information. I don't want to talk about what we think of their play, how we're playing against them, what they think of us. It's just, you don't want to give that kind of information away in an intense war. I'm going to share this in Lost Kingdom chat. And I'm going to share it. Yeah, so that's one reason I haven't really streamed so far. The other reason is that, you know, there's been a good bit of trash talk in Lost Kingdom chat. I don't actually watch Lost Kingdom chat myself, or I don't really read a ton of Lost Kingdom chat myself, but there has been some trash talk and stuff like that, and so I wasn't exactly sure. I didn't feel like I was in the right frame of mind to really stream and deal with, and sort of not deal with that, but just like respond to it. Because at the end of the day, I kind of want to like take the high road on some of this stuff and just be like, this has actually been a very good war. Like, there's a bunch of very strong kingdoms in this KvK. There's a lot of like very strong players, strong leaders, and I don't really think the trash talk is that big of a deal. Darby says intense is putting it mildly. It says it has been intense. Paco, are you a pirate Paco? Stream with 5-minute lag time. There's no delay, but I guess there's for some reason it's delaying a bit. I'm guessing the pirate Paco is Paco because he says Natsu is a pro bully on my T1s. And yeah, I mean, like, but the thing is, like, I totally get why there's been trash talk, right? I totally get why things have gotten a little bit heated at times. Because, first of all, look, I probably do hype up 770, like, maybe a bit more than is accurate. And I probably do. Do I have a march in this city? I do. Nice. And I probably do. And you know, like, I think probably our enemies were, like, pumped up to, like, be doing very well against us, right? And so, like, they were pretty pumped up. They were jacked up. And there's some trash talk going on there. Now, I think some of the trash talk was probably, like, directed at me, and, like, things I said was probably pretty unfair because, you know, quite frankly, I didn't really say anything negative about the two kingdoms that we're fighting against. I said that they were inactive in Eve of the Crusade, and that became a thing where I said they were inactive kingdoms. But I don't think saying you're inactive in Eve of the Crusade or inactive in, like, honor points in KvK is saying you're, like, a bad kingdom or that you're inactive. I think it's literally just saying that you're not active in Eve of the Crusade. And the other thing I said about this KvK was that it was going to be a long, hard war. And so I think when someone says that something's going to be a long, hard war, that is essentially giving a lot of credit to the enemy, right? We're expecting a very tough fight. HDT Nation says, just be less toxic, Brian. Shake my head. Well, listen, man, I've been toxic on voice at times as well, right? So, like, you know, I'm trying to take the high road, partly because I'm evaluating my own behavior and being like, well, you know, maybe I shouldn't take this so seriously. You know, I have not flashed this emoji all KvK because we've been losing, but there you go. There's the super old school double C emoji that no one else has, so. Sawtooth says, how do y'all think about Zone 6? Sawtooth, I mean, look, I mean, Zone 6 is going to be when this war kind of changes, right? We've had a very intense war here in Champagne, and, you know, we are definitely going to be at a disadvantage in Ile-de-France, but I think our allies are pretty well positioned in terrain where they have a 2 versus 1 against, or actually they don't have a 2v1, sorry. They don't have a 2v1, but they have most of the zone, right? Our allies will have most of terrain right off the rip. And, you know, the kingdom that really is in the driver's seat as far as setting the tempo is going to be Picardy. You know, it's going to be this 6-star kingdom that's matched with a 5-star kingdom with you know, differing time zones. They're going to set the tempo, but our allies are very well positioned. We have done significant damage to the enemy, as they have done significant damage to us. And so, you know, I think Zone 6 is going to change things up a bit, and we'll just have to see what happens, right? I mean, there's, like, still a lot of fight to go, and we don't know exactly what's going to happen. Snow, welcome to the stream. Shout out to URD. HDT, you can come back anytime. Stephen Vincent, welcome to the stream. Alan Smith says, I prefer the trash talk over those looking for love in LKC. What do I prefer? I honestly prefer the looking for love, I guess. But I'm not, like, a big LKC guy. Like, I'll be honest, I, like, just don't really read LKC. And so when people are saying there's a lot of trash talk and stuff in there, it's not gonna like make me more likely to read it or anything. I'm gonna turn the music back on and just see if it's double playing. So we're gonna try that out. We're gonna try that out. But I mean, yeah, it's been like a really good KvK, right? It's been a good fight. And, you know, part of what is going on is that when we're losing, like we're losing. There's in no way, shape, or form have we won this zone, right? We're losing the zone. We have not been pushed out, but we're losing it. And you know, when you lose, you just get challenged, right? Like, so I'm already at 30 million KP. I've already blown past 30 million KP. You know, when you lose, you get to like assess yourself a little bit. You get challenged. All the weaknesses you have get challenged. I think the strengths you have also come out. And, you know, so this has been, I think, for me at least, this has been a meaningful experience. And you learn things, right? Like, the thing is, when people win, they really don't evaluate their behavior, they don't evaluate their play, they don't really evaluate anything about themselves when they win. But when you lose, you evaluate all those things. And it has been useful to lose some fights. Shout out to Shiv, by the way. Shiv's also hanging out on voice. So shout out to my boy Shiv. He's got this really nice scout point here against BT. BT's been one of the real movers and shakers in LN93. Definitely one of the names I recognize. I think he rallies. I think BT rallies sometimes, but is definitely out in the open field quite a bit. I don't want to get toxic, so I'm not going to scout any more of them and show how many resources they have. But listen, 1393 has unlimited resources, all right? We're fighting against a kingdom that has 6 stars and they have unlimited resources. And that's a challenge because it is obvious that we have less resources. Like, you can see what resources I have. I've been getting scouted all through this KvK. And that's a challenge, right? It's just a challenge when the enemy has a lot of really big whales with unlimited resources. Because number one, they can sometimes be very tough in the open field, and at other times, you're just like, okay, we're getting a good trade against them in the open field, but is it even worth it? Like, are we even winning? You know, Algebra, who's in the chat, who's been a standout player in this KvK, and also like a standout leader without even being, he's not an officer, but Algebra's been like a leader anyway. Algebra was like, how good of a trade should we be getting, you know, to make this worth it, to fight these guys in the open field, to fight these like very big whales. I will say for our allies that I scouted a lot of these 93 players the other day, and they definitely have like less resources than they had before. Like, some of them are down to like, you know, $1 billion, $1.5 billion of each. All right, I'll scout these dudes. I mean, if they're gonna scout me, I'll scout these dudes. Like, you don't have tokens saved up, bro? I've gone through a lot of them. The one and only, I've gone through a lot of them. Because here's the thing, right? Here's like a very big factor in this KvK. A very big factor is the fact that we got a really raw deal as far as our placement on the map. Right? Because we knew, like, there's enemies here, and there's enemies here. And so if we did not fight in Champagne, we knew we would get Nevers for free. If we did not fight in Champagne, then we would have fought in Ile-de-France 1 versus 2. You know, to our disadvantage. But the problem with fighting in Champagne, the problem with fighting early on in the KvK, is that you don't put any points into special medicines. Like, I have points into special medicines now, but when the fight started, basically none of us had any points in special medicines. And, you know, we just did not, we underestimated the impact of that. Like, special medicines is a very big deal if you actually max it. And in the last war we had, which was against 1818, right? You guys see how strong 1818 is now, where they're like making a real difference in the 93 365 KvK. You know, we fought 1818 last KvK. Like, you know, we won against 1818. We obviously had an incredible ally in 1718. But when I fought in Zone 6 against 1818, I pretty much had special medicines like almost maxed on both. I think I had like 8 out of 10 on both of these, which is like 30% less healing costs on T5. And that's a very big deal. Like, it's just a very, very big deal. You know, when you don't have unlimited resources. And let me very quickly, I just want to listen to my stream real quick and make sure it's not double playing the music. So just humor me for a second here, everybody.
Here for a second.
Here, 1 second. Let me restart my stream. My stream real quick and make sure it's not double playing the music. So just humor me for a second here, everybody.
Here for a second.
Here, 1 second. Oh, you know, which was against 1818, right? You guys see how strong 1818 is now, where they're like making a real difference in the 93 365 KvK. You know, we fought 1818 last KvK. Like, you know, we won against 1818. We obviously had an incredible ally in 1718. But when I fought in Zone 6 against 1818, I pretty much had special medicines like, all right, I think it's not double playing. I'm not sure if I can hear Barney, but that's all right. Barney, if you've been talking in the last 5 minutes, I've not been able to hear you. KvK, welcome to the stream. Midterm in 3 minutes. Am I back to the level where like I do the midterm? I didn't even qualify for it, so never mind. But yeah, I mean, it's been a tough fight, right? It's been a tough fight. Our allies are good. Like your D is good. They're definitely good. I mean, I guess I thought they had 2 stars actually. They certainly play more. They play more like. Am I back to the level? Yeah, they certainly play more like a 2 or a 3 star kingdom than a 1 star kingdom. Like Yurdi's a good alliance and a good kingdom, but I mean, listen, we got a tough matchup here. We got a tough matchup here against LX17 and LN93. And why don't I just get into a bit of a recap of the war so far? Because I did prepare a bit of a recap here. So let me load that up here. So the big thing that happened, or one of the big factors in this, was that this war started on 9/29, which is that's my birthday actually. It started on my birthday. And it's also the start of Korean Thanksgiving, which is like the biggest holiday in Korea. And so basically the Korean alliance in our kingdom, N70S, they told us that they were not going to be able to play much for the first 5 days of this war. And so in retrospect, we probably shouldn't have, registered for this KvK when, one of your 2 alliances is not going to be able to fight the first 5 days after the pass is open. And so we were kind of like on the back foot, like really just right from the very beginning. And our plan entering this zone was that we were, right off the jump, we just wanted to build some flags to block the enemy from progressing very quickly. And then we were going to set up this very, very brilliant fort wall that Adinavo had planned. And I think the fact that this fort wall still stands 7 days later is a good testament to the fact that Adinavo is one of the best English-speaking leaders in this game. You know, because he not only had a plan, hey, let's play defense, let's kind of stall for the first 5 days until our Koreans return. Let's still have a foothold in the zone where we can do stuff after that. He not only had that plan and that strategy, but then he actually planned out a territory build where he built a fort wall that actually full-on worked. Now, my job at the beginning of the zone was to direct the ball and build some of these initial flags. Now, I'm building the flags fine, but the ball was a different story. I mean, I put the ball in like a kind of conservative place. You know, my whole thing with balls is like you don't have to go crazy with your ball, right? Like you can be conservative with your ball and you can kind of like pick good spots to use it. You don't have to just like run it to the ground immediately. And so I thought I placed our ball in a conservative spot, right? But but the enemy came in with a lot of troops. The enemy came in with a lot of freaking troops. The only one GR says, no, it only stands because Hardy doesn't want to burn those forts. Well, but the thing is, if they were getting good trades, they would burn the forts, right? If they were getting good trades, they would burn the forts. Which is the same reason, by the way, that they're not burning the forts right now, right? I mean, there's forts here that have no territory next to them, and they're not burning those forts. Like, you can't just say that they're just choosing not to. I mean, they're not even burning this flag, right? And so, I mean, one of the stories here is that, yes, we have played defense, and yes, we have fallen back, but we've made it hurt along the way. And as I watch this footage again, I think maybe we should have somebody else either directing the ball or building the flags. Because I'm not good enough to, I'm just not smart enough to do both, obviously. Like, I built the flags just fine, but I mean, our ball is about to get absolutely swamped. I mean, there's just nothing you can do here. You just have to take it. There's nothing you can do here. There's just nothing you can do here except take it. Kaiti, welcome to the stream. Why am I here? Welcome to the stream. And, you know, so that's sort of, this was first contact. This was like the first thing that happened, right? But let me go to the second video. Why am I not finding the second video? 1 second. One second. Oh, here we go. Okay. So this is a little bit later in the first couple hours of the fighting. The enemy definitely had a very strong opening, very strong presence. Like, you can, you know, this was an almost Imperium level ball. Here's kind of like how the zone looked from the start. You know, we broke out from this pass on the right. You can't really see the pass, but it's this outlined area. We just built flags to block their advance, while we also were building out from the pass south of us, and we were both building flags from out of there, and we were like setting up our flags, or setting up our forts, our fort wall. So the goal here really was just to build flags and to to stall the enemy so we could get our forts built. But, you know, at the same time, I can't necessarily help myself. And, you know, sometimes you just want to defend a flag. I mean, it's like one of those things where it's like a very... It's a very thin line, right? Where number one, it's a war game. People are ready to fight. The absolute proper strategy would have been to be extremely, extremely defensive. But at the same time, you don't want to let people bully you. You want to you can't just let them walk over you. It doesn't feel right to just let them burn your flag without a fight. And so we did defend a number of flags. And I think the flag that's burning here, the marker 3, was the site of a very, very long swarm by the enemy. Let me see if I have that. Let me see if I have that report for you. I probably do. That's not it. Is this it? Yeah. So this is a report. This is a report of one of the very first flag defenses that we did very early on. This was a cavalry garrison. The garrison lost to the Tariq Pakal rally. And, you know, our reigns are very scratchy. This was very early on in the zone. Our reigns were up and down, up and down. But we did manage to basically keep a garrison captain in there the whole time. And we got, like, you know, we got a slightly winning trade here. I guess when you factor in the severely wounded, it's pretty freaking even. And so we maybe should have just played defense right from the start, but we didn't. We fought them right from the start. And I think as I look back on this war, it's really the mistakes that I made as a leader were simply that I took too many fights early on. Some of the fights were good, but some of the fights were not so good. And it's really just, it's hard to thread that needle. It's very hard to thread that needle. Because if you know you're going to get a good, if you think you're going to get a good trade, you know, you should probably take the freaking fight. And you also want to delay the enemy. You don't want them to get into your forts. And delay felt like a very big part of this early going. But in retrospect, delay is not really that big of a deal. Because, you know, it's 7 days later and the forts are still up. So it's not like we were really... You know, we were delaying them for 5 days so the Koreans would end their holiday. But at the end of the day, delaying was not that big of a deal, and I probably over-prioritized it a little bit. And here's just like a moment that I caught when I was reviewing this footage, which is, I call this adventures in backflagging, where I'm not the best territory builder. It just, my mind struggles to sort of wrap my head around territory building for some reason. And so I was like staring at this spot for a good minute or so, being like, okay, is this a back flag? Like, is this actually delaying the enemy? And I decided it was, and I'm pretty sure that this was a correct back flag. Sawtooth says, stars aren't everything, says the kingdom with no stars. The one and only GR says, looking at the map, they aren't even building towards the forts aggressively, they are just being passive. Yeah, well, I mean, look, for them, it's a very, you know, look, for them... They don't have to push us out of the zone, right? They're going to have a 1v2 in the next zone anyway. And, you know, it makes sense for them to play it that way. The one and only GR says, but those forts don't do anything for you guys. I don't see the tactical advantage or strategy. If Korea holidays is over now, where's your big push? Well, we made a very big push yesterday, the one and only GR. We did 2 fort drops that you know, I'm sitting at now. We took a bunch of this territory that, you know, is now the enemy's. We forced the enemy to take fights they didn't want to take, and we got some very good trades against them. So, I mean, that was the reason for what we did. That's the tactical advantage. And also, we're not against a pass, right? Like if we want to advance in this zone, we're not doing it from these level 4 passes. We're doing it from a situation where we have teleport space and we have forts. So I mean, I think when you factor in everything, the one and only GR, when you factor in the fact that the enemy is very strong, right? They have twice as many stars as we have. The enemy has twice as many stars as we have. LX17, which is a pretty young kingdom, has an alliance gift level of level 37. Whereas the higher spending alliance in our kingdom, N70S, which is a much older kingdom, has an alliance gift level of 34. Right? So, you know, we had a very tough opponent. And we knew that one of our alliances was going to be on holiday for the first 5 days. So please, you know, propose to me a better strategy than building a fort wall that allows us to continue to fight, that forces the enemy, if they want to break through, to take some difficult trades, and gives us a jump-off point to attack the enemy like we did just yesterday. So, I mean, I think to me, all things considered, I think Addy came up with a great strategy that we have used. You know, we've done okay with it, right? We've done okay with it. Is our activity exactly where we want it to be? No, our activity is not exactly where we want it to be. But we have done more kill points than any other kingdom, and we have caused more deads to the enemy than they have caused to us. So, on some level, you have to ask yourself, like, what more could we have done? Could we have had more people online? Could we have had more people fighting? Yes, we could have done that. But as far as the people who are here and putting their heart into this thing, I think we've played it pretty well. I think that, you know, certainly many mistakes get made in a war like this. You know, as a player, I made a lot of mistakes, right? I fought without gear at times. I took about 100k open field deads. And actually, I'm going to show you. Let me show you. So here's another. And then as a leader, I made mistakes as well, right? So like one mistake I made was just trying to defend certain flags that we did not need to defend. And I think this cavalry marker 9 here is a very good example. And this is one that just kind of sticks with me as I think back on my own play. You know, this is not an easy flag to defend. We're not able to get a lot of cities around it. We're not able to really teleport many cities close at all. But we had had a couple of positive trades with the cavalry garrisons early on. And so I just was like, okay, let's also defend this flag. You know, let's defend this flag. And the enemy open field was very, very strong. The enemy open field has been very strong throughout this KvK. What they have essentially done is they have simply won the majority of the open field fights. They have had bigger numbers in the open field the majority of the time. And I think that is the most impressive and oppressive part of what the enemy has done. And I think that is a pretty simple way to win in ROK. Like, I don't think having great open field is all that complicated. You have like really strong accounts, you have lots of speed ups, you have lots of resources, maybe you have some pilots, and you bring a lot of people to the open field. And then you just, in most cases, you just win. Like, you literally just win. You have better open field than the enemy, and you just win. But the thing that I'm doing here is I'm forcing it. Like, I have this image of flag defenses when the enemy has the open field control, where you kind of like slowly progress towards the flag, right? Like, if the enemy, you force the well, I don't want to say too much, but I have this best practice type of philosophy about flag defenses, where like, even if you're completely overwhelmed in the open field, you still sort of try to like poke at them and like gradually make progress. And I think this is just an example where like my philosophy is just not correct, right? Like there's no point in me or one or two other brave souls trying to like poke at this sort of dominant open field. And I think I just kind of forced, I'm forcing things with my own open field march here. And I think I also forced it on this flag where it's just like, this is a very hard flag to defend. Kaitis, let's see. Noonie, welcome to the stream. Noonie's one of the leaders in URD, and actually has been a really enjoyable person to play with. URD has some very good players, very good leaders. They're always on voice, and I think as we go through some of this recap, I'll show some examples of where like having like a lot of just very good leaders and good players on voice all together has made us do some very cool things. But this is not necessarily like a super cool thing that we're doing here. This is just the enemy swarming down this flag, and I think they get like a positive trade here. Like I think they get a pretty solidly positive trade here, and I will show you this report. So I mean, this was just a mistake on my part to like defend this particular flag. Like we were making decisions in real time about what to defend and what to let go of, and I made a bad decision, a bad call here to like defend this flag. Yeah, so you can see it's just kind of like a loss. It's not a horrible loss. The swarm, we do well against the swarm, but we do very badly against the rally. We had no ability to swarm this Justinian Nevsky rally, which for those who haven't really used Justinian yet, Justinian's like okay. He's okay, but I wouldn't go out of my way to build him. I built him and I kind of regret it. I probably should have built Huo instead. Because I'm a Cav player, the Justinian is okay because like I can use Justinian in the open field for a long time. I would think, or maybe for like at least a medium amount of time. But like the Justinian rally is just like an upgrade on Nevsky Joan, but at the end of the day, it's still like pretty swarmable. So I mean, it's not like a great rally. It's just not a great rally. But let me find the next. The one and only GR says I quit ROK a while back, but I enjoy watching KvK still. Yeah, that's cool. No, and GR, I'm fine with you asking questions, like asking challenging questions. To be honest, I thought you were maybe like one of our enemies at first, but now that I see that you aren't, I see that you're just like asking questions that initiate good conversation. So like that's all good. That's all good. Yeah, Kaiti, shout out to 2313. You guys did well, honestly. I mean, I saw the stats, the KvK data, and it looked like you guys had done a good amount of damage. You had taken a lot of damage. You'd also like definitely taken deads just as you would cause deads, and so your fort wall gave us some nice hope for a few days there. Because again, to 1GR's like sort of questions about what's happening here. Wait, what? Whoa. What? Oh, somebody ported. Okay. Hopefully I don't get... Okay, this is where like a stream sniper could not do anything, right? All right, that's fine. Yeah, there's no threat for this squad. This squad is not under threat. But yeah, so like the thing is, GR, right? Like down here on the march, these are our allies. They have one kingdom that doesn't really fight that much. It's like the first kingdom in the game, 1001. We certainly hope that they fight in the next zone and do the best they can, because this is a very good KvK and it's far from over. But 1313, they were not able to win Barry. We didn't really expect they would win Barry, but there was always a chance that they might. And so we didn't necessarily want to go all in right off the bat when our Koreans are on holiday for 5 days. Because maybe we were going to have a 2v2 in Ile-de-France. We didn't know. We weren't sure. But at the end of the day, it was just we were in a tough situation, right? We had a very tough opponent, and we were not at full strength when the KvK began. And you know, that's just something that happens sometimes. And I'm just looking for the next video here, sorry. I'm like sort of prepared, but not like totally prepared. Okay, here we go. All right, so as we keep moving through here, why am I missing? Did I not mark the other one? Well, we'll just keep moving. We'll keep moving. Listen, we had some good defenses on day one. We had some very good trades. We held at certain flags. We held for for a while against 2217. We made it hurt. We made it hurt for them to burn certain flags of ours that were at certain choke points. And so as the day went on, we started to make better choices about where we were going to really fight hard. And then I woke up the next day and saw this situation where LX17 had flagged, you know, pretty aggressively south through this narrow pass here, where they were not able to put any cities around some of their flags. And the Koreans were actually, even though the Koreans were on holiday, they had actually been quite active this morning. They had swarmed down one of LX17's flags. And sort of south of here, the Koreans here. The Koreans are here fighting from the south. We were up here on the north. And this seemed to me like a pretty good opportunity for us to actually fight hard. And whereas we had not actually won any... Yeah, so here's my one Justinian rally of the KvK. And honestly, you can see that my Jan is in a garrison. So I didn't have my best gear on the Justinian, nor did I have the best armaments. I probably should have taken the Jan out, put the best stuff on the Justinian, and kind of YOLO'd the garrison for a few minutes here. But anyway, this was like a distraction rally as the Koreans were pushing to the south. And we just kind of like picked a spot to get aggressive against LX17. And, you know, in retrospect, I think this was a good spot for us to be aggressive. This was a good spot for us to really, you know, fight in like a very like honest way instead of like always falling back. Because, you know, at the end of the day, people like, as Jon Snow said, and Jon Snow's going to be in this clip later, people like to log on and see fighting and then get good trades. So I will show you this report. It's like not a great report. I mean, I cancel it like maybe a little bit late. Oh, it was actually Fatty in the garrison. Oops. Yeah, so not a very good report here with the Justinian Nevsky against the Zeno Flavius. I should have put my best gear on this thing. And I should have put my best armaments on it. But you know, it was basically just a distraction rally while the enemies attacked. And what was happening basically is that like the LX17 was like heading south in order to fight the Koreans here at coalition marker 2 and 3, because the Koreans were burning LX17. And so we just kind of like moved in once the bulk of their ball had gone south, and then we just cut off the stragglers, and we cut off like, you know, future we cut off like future joiners to their ball. And this was just like very positive for us. Like we had not won a single open field fight on the first day. And so it was nice to win some open field fights on the second day. Let me catch up on the chat here a little bit. What are we saying here? I think I'm missing some stuff here in the chat. Oh, Darby just says that 101 finally joined the Diplo chat after a day. You need some more RSS, almost as broke as me. Yeah, alloys, man. I do. You know, I'm gonna get to the 1093 365 KvK after this. I wish I had watched it more closely because, I mean, it looks like a great war. Like the Kingsland has gone back and forth, and that's like pretty freaking sick. Here, let me fast forward this a little bit. Oh, I'm on the wrong. I'm suddenly on the wrong video. Anyway, that was us. One second. Yeah, so this was us. This was us cutting them off. This was like an old tactic that we used back in the day against 2064 in Heroic Anthem, when they did like this crazy 4-drop against us, and like we couldn't take on the bulk of their ball, so we would always just attack the tail end of their ball. And so, you know, even though I'm just like at best a very good leader, you know, I'm not like a great leader, I'm just like at best a very good leader, I at least have a lot of experience. And so like every once in a while I'll like see a pattern that I've seen before and be like, oh, we could just attack the tail of their ball. Like that will work. That will work just fine. But let me move on to the next video here. Yeah, so this is a few days later. This is after like the fort wall has been established. And we're fighting here in URD territory. And you know, like I said, like first of all, like losses are challenging, right? Like people get stressed in losses. You see like the weaknesses like matter, right? When you're winning, weaknesses do not matter. But when you're losing, all the weaknesses like are glaringly obvious and matter a lot. But the thing is, you can learn. Like you can actually
really do.
You can actually learn from losing. And so one of the things I learned in this KvK is the idea of like moving the ball up very incrementally. Like instead of like charging in right here, like I would have charged in. Actually, I think we do charge in right here. No, we move again. We literally move again. See, I want to charge in. I want to charge in. But we move again. Right? So I'm used to charging in. Or we literally move the ball again. And I will say it's good to have responsive players, because even though I wanted to charge in, I was responsive. And so this is something that Danky in URD does. He just like does these very incremental balls forward. And I don't know, I have no idea what's going to happen in this fight, but this is something that I did learn, and I think it's actually a pretty good strategy, because you know, you don't charge in without knowing that you have a bunch of AFKs, right? You move the ball very steadily so that you realize if you have a bunch of AFKs, you shouldn't go in. But let's take a look at this fight, right? Like this is just kind of like, this is in some ways the KvK in a nutshell, right? Is like two balls hitting each other and one ball is gonna win. And more often than not, the enemy ball has won. And that's literally like the main thing that has happened in this war. Like their just open field is better. I don't think their garrison game is better. I don't think their rally game is better. You know, I don't know that I wouldn't guess that their intangibles are necessarily better. I just think they have better open field than us. Like they have stronger open field. And really what happens is that we sometimes win the initial engage, but then the enemy like brings more people back for that second wave, and they tend to beat us on the second wave. Nooney says, I would be nice to pause the game to eat or something. Oh, you know what? I should not be... Okay, let me, speaking of like never being able to like chill for a second, I'm just going to put this Guan in the pass, because obviously he's walking into a war zone. if he goes any further, and I'm not paying attention. Let me know in the chat if they rally our forts or anything. Doesn't look like they are. So, I mean, like, the thing is, like, the enemy has very good open field and everything, but they're not like they don't apply constant pressure to us, you know? I feel like we've played against kingdoms that are a little bit more like, and that's despite the fact that they have like 24-hour time zone coverage. I do feel like we've played against kingdoms, and certainly we've known of kingdoms in this game that like apply like more like devastating pressure to you, where like they're constantly attacking. Whereas we've had days, you know, this has been a 7 days war, but we've had days where like very little has happened. But here's a rally in on the flag that we're just not able to get to, right? We're simply not able to get to this rally. And there was a lot of open field fighting at this Yurdi fort. The flag you see on the right, we managed to hold this flag for days, even though it's not an easy flag to defend. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's kind of obvious what the enemy wants to do to win this war. They just want to fight us endlessly in the open field. And they just know they're going to wear us down before we get worn down. And, you know, again, that's like a very simplistic way of playing. That's a very simplistic way of winning. And it's largely it's largely achieved by having way more resources than the enemy and having more people in the field, however you manage to get more people in the field. And so this has been a very good war, but there's something a little bit like unreal about it, something a little bit like non-human about it, I guess, where it's just like we're just gonna keep fighting in the open field, and like if you wear us out first, then you get to win. Like, I don't know, it just kind of seems a little bit. I think this war has both like shown all the great things about ROK, and it has also shown the kind of like very mid, slightly depressing things about ROK, which is just like if you just prepare yourself to be like the stronger team, then most of the time you just win, right? Because you just have the better open field, and so you just charge at the enemy, you heal your troops more often than the enemy, and then you just win. But at the same time, this game is so profound. This is such a profound game that challenges so many aspects of people. It forces you to get less sleep. It forces you to interact with lots of people. It forces you to, you know, show heart and show grit and deal with adversity. It forces you to like really theory craft and, you know, figure out where to place flags, figure out where to like place cities or alliance resource centers that will block the enemy progress, so you have like one less vector you have to defend. There's lots of like very profound things happening in this game, and my only concern is that the robotic aspects of this game, the undiscussed aspects of this game, and also, I mean, let's be real, also the spending parts of this game, I worry that they will too often overwhelm the profound and very human parts of this game. And look, at the end of the day, if you spend a lot of money in this game, there should be very good rewards for spending a lot of money in this game. That is what makes this game successful. That is what will keep this game alive for many, many years. Is if you give people good reasons to spend a lot of money on this game. And I think that people who spend a lot of money on this game, for them, one of the best rewards is probably to be able to beat some kingdoms that are very serious about this game, that perhaps have a, at times, annoying YouTuber who takes the game very seriously and talks about his own play and his kingdom very confidently. I think on some level it should be the reward of spenders that they get to beat kingdoms like that. I get that. I accept that. I accept that. But we always have to be careful to not go too far down the road of having this game be decided before the KvK even starts. And have it not be about how well you play in the KvK, but have it be more so simply about how strong you are when you came into the KvK. And I think that is always the tightrope that ROK walks on, is how much of this is going to be a skill game, how much of this is going to be a real-time game, versus how much of this is going to be a preparation game. Because at the end of the day, we have to do a lot of we have to do better preparing. We have to gather more resources. We have to do more 1+1 forts. We need to build more farms. Even though, quite frankly, our farm game is stronger than either of our opponents. Right? Even though our grind game is better than our opponents, since they finished last in Eve and are last in honor points. But they have way more resources than us anyway. So there's a lot that we have to do in the future. And I think the profound part of this game is that when you deal with adversity, when you deal with some loss, you have to like actually look at your teammates. You have to have conversations with your teammates. The relationships get tested. And you have to make some hard sort of decisions or whatever about, okay, how are we gonna keep going forward? How are we gonna be better in the future so that the next time we're in a situation like this, it goes better than it went this time. This KvK is far from over. Like I said, we have literally done more damage to the enemy than they have done to us. We have very good allies who I think are relatively well rested, and I think we are setting the table for our allies to, 903 and 1020 are better rested than Bacardi is. You guys are better rested than them. We've done a lot of damage to these guys, and we have a lot of fight left in us as well. So this war is far from over. But losing this zone of Champagne has, been a somewhat profound experience for us in terms of like, it's actually, it's like tested the bonds that we have. And the truth is, honestly, we just have like such a good group that I personally enjoy playing with so much that it hasn't been like a super big test. Like we basically have had a lot of fun with each other. And the group that came in from 1252 is such a great group of people that, the other night we were just like hanging out on voice chat, talking. We were not even talking about we were talking about the game a little bit. We were talking about a ton of other stuff. It was like me and Barney and, we're like two older dudes. It was Algebra, who I think is like a recent college grad, and Natsu, who's, an Indian guy who's living in Australia, and I think who is very successful in life because, he's Whale Sue. So, I assume he's doing pretty well. But anyway, that's this clip. Let me go to the next one. Let's see what this next one is. But yeah, this was like a couple days ago. LX17 built a fort. They built a fort kind of at the front line. And, we saw them drop the fort very quickly. And things have been very quiet at this point. But it was the kind of thing where it's like, okay, listen, they dropped a fort right on our front line. We have to try and destroy this fort. Like, we just have to try and destroy this fort. We cannot just let this thing get built. So we mobilized. We were like, let's mobilize and see what we have. You know, let's mobilize and see what we have. And what happened here, this was after the Koreans had gotten back from holiday. And I think this was really like the first time that all three alliances in our kingdom fought together. And the truth is, I think we basically won this engagement up until the very end when we tried to swarm the fort. And I think that the trade on the fort swarm probably turned this into like a neutral engagement. We got some of it back afterwards because we had control of the field, and so we burned some of their flags. But I think this was basically like the first time that we won an a big open field engagement over the course of several hours. And, you know, I think this was sort of like a very good sign of how this KvK has evolved, right? Where they were kicking our ass at the beginning, but now over the past few days, our trades have been getting better and better. Not just in the open field, but also in the rally and the garrison game. And so this was just like, you know, this very good open field fight that went back and forth. We ultimately traded positively. You know, I would ask, you know, I think from the people I asked, they said that like they got very good trades. I tend to not look at my reports a ton. And, you know, I'm like a little bit more forward than some people, so I'm not like necessarily looking to get like amazing trades. But yeah, this was like, they did get this fort up. They did ultimately get this fort up. When there were like 10 minutes left, we got like very, very close to the fort and we swarmed it. And that swarm hurt a lot. That swarm definitely hurt a lot. I think we took like 1 million more deads on the garrison report than the enemy did. And the fort did get built. But I still regarded this as a positive afternoon of ROK. Simply because we all fought together. There were Koreans, there were players from N70D, and there were players from URD. And it was a very good fight. Adrian Colas says, what are your active hours for your kingdom? Adrian Colas, we are a 24/7 kingdom. Our Vanquisher, welcome to the stream. Hello, how's your KvK and allies going? You know, our Vanquisher, I would say that we are the underdogs at this point, but the war, you know, it's a long war and many things can happen in a long war. You know, a lot of it comes down to how our allies are able to do against Picardy. Picardy is they're very strong. They are a very, very strong kingdom. Or two very strong kingdoms. And so if our allies can compete well against Picardy, then we have a very good chance of winning this KvK. If Picardy is just too tough, then it's gonna be tough for us to win. Wally Weaver says, how is Justinian in the open field? I think Justinian's pretty good in the open field, actually. I've been using Justinian William, and he's definitely getting pretty good reports. I mean, they're not like amazing reports, but they're like solid reports. And my ultimate plan, Wally, is that I'm going to do Huo William, and then I'm going to run XY Justinian as like my third cavalry march. And I think having that tanky Justinian behind the XY is going to work pretty well. Because Justinian William has done pretty well. Why I'm here says Picardy won't come left, Brian. Strap in for a tough Z6. Well, I mean, if they don't come left, then that means that like 903 and Lamarche and 1020 are all gonna get into Kingsland, right? And so like at that point, a lot of things can happen, right? Because if Picardy doesn't go left, then they have to. What are they gonna do? They're gonna invade Nevers? They're gonna try to get through a pass against us? I mean, that's the thing, right? There's like so much fighting left. There's so much fighting left in this KvK. Hades says, how much money does a whale have to spend a month to be labeled as one? Yeah, that's a very interesting question, Hades. And, you know, with like the equipment changes and armaments and all the stuff that goes on with resources and all that, I think the number is probably higher than I used to say. I think the number is probably like $400 to $500 a month. You know, I think $400 or $500 a month makes somebody a whale. The one and only GR says it's the reason 19, as a response to my rant from a few minutes ago. GR says it's the reason 1960 is so strong because they are mega whale spenders. It sucks, but it's part of the game. Maybe drop to lower seed then. Yeah, I mean, it is definitely part of the game, and I don't want to come across badly as being someone who is like, what's the saying? Don't hate the player, hate the game. I don't want to be hating on the players, right? And I'm not hating on the players. I'm just saying, like, the game has to continuously make good decisions about these things. And look, they're adding new equipment. The equipment is going to make whales stronger, like, right off the rip. And I'm just saying, like, when you make it like 80% of the KvK is like how strong you are coming into the KvK, and only 20% is like the decisions and the performance during the KvK, I don't think that's a very good balance. And I'm not going to say too much about our enemies here, but like, it's not like all our enemies play like that great. Like, there's some like real flaws there. There's some real flaws there. Like, you'd be kind of shocked. You'd be kind of shocked at some of the stuff. You'd be kind of shocked. But they're beasts. Like, it doesn't matter if they play bad. It doesn't matter. They're beasts. Like, that's the thing. Is this really a game where it doesn't matter if you play bad? You still just win like every time. You still go like years without losing a KvK, even if you like don't really play that good. I don't know. I'm just an honest person. Look, and like, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Being good at this game is not like an important thing, right? And I fall into this trap. I fall into this trap as a person who is like, doesn't have a balanced life and like has put a lot into this game. And quite frankly, I'm not even that good at it. But like, being good at this game is just like, it's not an important thing. It's not like a big skill. It's like, it's not a big skill. Like, it's not like someone who has like a balanced life and spends more money is somehow like making mistakes with what they do compared to someone who's like, 24/7 grinding this game and like watching other people's streams and like talking with other players and like trying to be as good as they can at it. That's not an impressive thing or anything. It's not impressive. But like, we still want to build a good game. We want to build like a very skill-based game that's like very compelling for a wide variety of people. And like I said, it's always a tightrope. Like, it's just always a tightrope between like spending and other stuff versus like skill and like teamwork. Yenhouse Chen says, hey Brian, if you understand how Siege of Orleans works, you should know before third auxiliaries unlock defense over rally. There's no need to burn down your corner forts. This is the trap from you guys. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're not doing much with those forts at the moment anyway, so I mean, yeah, like at the end of the day, like, our opponents are playing very well. They've played very smart. I honestly think like Alex17 is like a very good alliance, right? Like, I really don't have anything negative to say. First of all, as far as like the way the kingdoms conduct themselves, like all that, I have nothing bad to say about either one. And as far as like how they play, like Alex17, I mean, they play very well. Like, you can tell they're smart. They've certainly like outsmarted me in certain situations where like they kind of like forced. They got me to take fights that we shouldn't have taken, you know. And so like, they've played smart. Like, they've definitely played smart. But like, I think we've played smart as well, right? Like, I think we have played smart as well given the circumstances. But let me move on to the next video here. Let's see what we got. Oh, I think this is more of the yeah, actually, let me just go in terms of like playing smart, right? let me show you guys what we did yesterday. Let me show you guys what we did yesterday. Which this was a plan that Captain, who is the leader of N70S, she came up with this plan, and quite frankly, it was a very good plan. We did a we hopped the mountain from Nevers into Champagne. The enemy gave us a slight hole there, and then we started building flags. We random teleported to this area. We dropped 2 forts, and then we built flags to protect those forts. And this was like our first major offensive of this KvK. And I would regard it as a successful offensive, right? The territory has been collapsed at this point, but we got a lot of forts down, and we expanded our territory quite a bit. And I think we put some good pressure on the enemy, right? I think we put some good pressure on the enemy. So it was really crazy right from the start, right? Because like there were so many flags to defend, there were so many vectors of attack that the enemy could attack us from. And like they were also we were building flags, they were building flags. It was just like a very cool situation where like both teams had to really think on their feet. And you know, I finally teleported and I was a little bit late. Actually, one thing I'll say, I need to say this at this point. So I got on, the offensive was like just kicking off. We needed to make space in your D. So I said, okay, I'll make space in your D. I was like just getting some food to eat. I just woken up, I was getting some food. You know, this war has been pretty crazy, so I don't have a lot of food in my apartment right now. So I just had some like frozen dumplings that I took out of the freezer. I heated them up in the microwave. And I was like eating these frozen dumplings as I'm like furiously like kicking players from your D. And there was like, I don't know, there was something in one of the dumplings. It was like this white almost flake, but it was like a really like hard flake. It was just like this little, I don't even know what it was, but it was just like, it was almost like a little piece of like, not plastic, but like some like hard material. And I was like focusing so hard on like this offensive starting and like kicking people that I ate a dumpling that had these like foreign object in it. And I literally chipped my front tooth. Like there's a chip in my right front tooth from eating a frozen dumpling as this offensive started. Like that's a legit injury from ROK right there. Because I think if I had just been like casually eating dumplings, like obviously I heated them up. I heated them up in the microwave. I heated them up the same exact normal time that I would heat dumplings up. It's not like I cooked them wrong or anything like that. It's just there was something in this dumpling. And I think if I had been like casually eating, I might not have like chewed down on it like more than once. I don't know exactly how it happened, but I literally chipped my front tooth. And it's like pretty freaking annoying. It's like the kind of thing that I definitely have to get fixed. You can't like super see it unless you're like looking for it, but like if I smile and I'm looking for it, I see it right away. And I can feel it too. So it's like, I don't know, like I know I'm being like brutally honest about this war. I know like I don't know, sound arrogant sometimes, sound intense sometimes, sound honest sometimes. But I'm literally chipping my tooth for this game. You know what I mean? Like, I'm literally chipping my tooth. And so sometimes when I, sometimes when I get like kind of intense about things or whatever, it's just because like I really like, I'm like trying my best. Like my best might not be amazing, but I am trying my best here. And that's one of the things I really like about this game. But damn it if I would like my tooth to be whole. But yeah, this was like really crazy just right from the jump. Because we had so many flags that we were building and we were touching the enemy in so many spots that it took us like a little bit of time to figure out like, okay, Like, where should our ball be? Who's defending what? You know, we kind of like cleared them out on the left or on the right here. We just formed that flag down. And so then it was like, okay, we got to move the ball. We got to move everybody all the way over to the other side, you know? It's like a real like logistical and communication challenge that happened here. But I think that, like, again, we have like we had a bunch of very good players on voice. And so we figured it out, you know. It took us a while, but we figured it out. And we got garrisons in all the flags we needed to get. We kind of moved our ball to where it needed to be. And, you know, again, this was another example. This was like the second example of this KvK where all three of our groups fought together. Your D was here, N70D was here, and the Koreans were here in very full force. And we did very well. Like, we were just winning fight after fight after fight. We were winning the trades on the rallies, and we were winning in the open field. And that was a very good feeling. Snow bro, thank you. Crown for your tooth and crown for your head. You know what, man? I don't want a crown on my head, and I just want my tooth to be fixed. Hopefully it won't be super expensive. But I have a bad feeling it's going to cost more than I spend on the KvK tech. Why Am I Here says that we've all seen the camp stats. I think it's working rather well for them. Well, I mean, we're out trading them. You know, we don't see the hospital bills, but we've certainly caused them more deaths than they've caused us. And we have more kill points than they have. So, you know, that was the thing, right? Like, for 5 or 6 days of this war, we were just losing. And, you know, I didn't know what to think. I did not know what to think. I was like, you know, do we suck? Like, do we suck? I didn't know what to think. And I said a few times, I was like, we need to see the stats. Like, I'm really curious to see what the stats are. Because I honestly didn't know what I was going to see, right? I didn't know, like, who would have the kill points. I didn't know, you know, which side would have more deads or anything like that. And then I saw the stats and I was like, okay, we're doing fine. Like, we're out trading them. Even though it's a very tough situation, like, we're doing fine, right? Like, that's, you know, what more can you do than that in a sense? I mean, you can always play better, but, you know, to be getting good trades is something, right? I would rather win the zone, but getting good trades is a nice consolation prize. Sawtooth says, pretend like you don't have RSS sellers and 770 using bots. Well, here's what I would say, Sawtooth. If I talk to the greatest resource gatherer that I know, and he tells me how many resources he has ever gathered in the Kingdom of 770, I could show you two cities in 1393 that have more resources than the greatest resource gatherer I have ever seen has ever gathered. So, I mean, you know, and look, like, I've literally piloted an account on this stream, right? The game is the game. The game is the game. But, you know, part of the game is that we get to say what we think about everything. We get to say what we think about the game. We get to say what we think about our opponents. We get to record footage of everything that happens. We get to scout cities and see what they have. So we get to say things about everything we want. That's part of the game too. Resource selling is part of the game. Having unlimited resources is part of the game. But commenting on those things is also part of the game. So to me, it's all fair. And the truth is, we have like almost no pilots, right? We basically have no pilots. Like, you know, and we were having this discussion on Voice the other night. And I think Matt Boss said, he was like, pilots are like the worst thing. Pilots are the worst thing. And I initially said no. I said that, like, bots gathering resources is the worst thing. But like I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? You're probably right. Pilots are the worst thing because, you know, putting in the human effort to like, you know, sacrifice things in your life, you know, sacrifice sleep, potentially hurt your personal life, potentially hurt your professional life in order to like dedicate more time to this game. Like that's actually part, and also like motivating your teammates to also put in that effort, like having like good vibes on your team so that a lot of people put in that extra sacrifice that's required to win a tough war. Like that to me is such a big part of the game, and I do think pilots kind of like very much neutralize that part of the game. And so that's you know, I think that would be the argument against pilots, right? But it is a very big part of the game, and it is also true that some kingdoms have way more pilots than others, right? I mean, one of our opponents said they had 2 or 3 pilots, and you know, one of my teammates quoted that, and then he said, that's interesting because like I must know all of your pilots then, because I literally know 2 or 3 pilots in your kingdom. But yeah, I mean, it, you know, it is what it is. But like I don't know. I just think this is real enough that we should be real about what's happening. That's all. Like this is very real. We're like large groups of people who have dedicated years to this game. You know, it's affected our lives. We spent a lot of money on the game. We devote a lot of time to war. War is very challenging. There's tons of ups and downs. There's stress. There's joy. There's everything in between. There's people chip their teeth fighting in this game. So like, let's just be real about all of it. That's, you know, like not a lot of judgment, really not a lot of judgment on my part, but let's be real about it. It's not like a moral thing. It's just like, let's be real about it. Let's see. Let me just go back. I'll show you kind of how this thing looked. I'll show you how this thing looked a little bit. I'll just kind of show you how this looked. Like what we actually did here. I think this is where it is. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Let me go back. Sorry. Yeah, so there were just like so many flags on both sides, and we had to like figure out where to focus. Yeah, so this is where we hopped. Like we just hopped over the mountain. We built a bunch of flags. You can see the enemy from CN93. They like were able to like flag. I think they had all these flags originally, but like clearly they had the ability to like literally burn like 7 of our flags that we had just put down. So it was like a very like kind of intense fight right off the rip. But, you know, ultimately we had the stronger open field, and we got some very, very good open field trades for several hours here. You know, we also got like, we also got some good reports and stuff like that. You know, Uni had this rally on a, I believe this was like a Hera YSS or a YSS Hera, some kind of rally, some kind of garrison like that. So, you know, we got like a bunch of good trades along the way, both in the field and on rallies. And so, I mean, that was the point, right? That was the point. Son, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here, my friend. You know, I mean, that was the point of the offensive, was to like deplete the enemy more than they deplete us, right? Would we have liked to have held all this territory? Yeah, of course we would have. Could we have held it? Yeah, I think if things had gone a little bit differently, we might have been able to hold it. But, you know, we're not playing perfect. We're playing far from perfect in this KvK. But we are doing the best we can. You know, we were kind of demoralized earlier today. You know, we were just kind of talking. We weren't really doing anything. We were just kind of talking. And then Avrugny dropped a fort here in Nevers. We got some kills against Avrugny, destroying their fort. And then we just kind of all ported over here. We defended this WFR fort. We defended this flag over here. Then we filled up this fort over here, and they're all healing hours later. I'm having a couple beers on stream. I was worried maybe they would rally while I was streaming, but that hasn't happened. So, you know, it's nice to chill every once in a while. I think we can all agree. I think people on both sides of this war can all agree that it is nice to chill sometimes. Bat Worship says, yeah, I feel that. It's easier to just buy an endgame account with what I make in my job than it is to invest the amount of time to get to that point. It's disheartening. Why am I here? Says $1 million accounts never logging off. Make me want to vomit, lol. Yeah. I mean, look. I don't know what to, I'll say something that's gonna be not gonna really give anything away or anything like that. We have some whale accounts in N70S that don't really play that much. And if they gave that whale account to somebody like me, we would have won zones that we lost, and quite frankly, this KvK would probably be different, right? We have whale accounts that nobody pilots. Absolutely no one pilots. And the difference between us having whale accounts that no one pilots and having whale accounts that are on all the time is the difference between winning and losing, you know? So, I mean, that's, you know, that's, what do I regret about that? I guess I regret never asking certain people if I could pilot their account. That's what I regret. Are we doing forts? Yeah, let me do a fort. Let me do a fort here. Let me do a fort. I probably have max AP, right? No, I don't have max AP, but let me do a fort. We still have to do the egg event. I'll crack the eggs here in a minute after I join this fort with my farm. Sawtooth says, headed to bed too. Looking forward to fighting with you guys on Tuesday. Yeah, Sawtooth, thanks for hanging out, and yeah, appreciate all the kind words in the game. I've seen you chatting in LKC and stuff like that, so yeah, I mean, really looking forward to hopefully working with our allies more. Like, I hope we can connect with you guys. We're all alone, right? We're so isolated. We're so isolated over here in Bourbon. You know, we're surrounded by enemies. So hopefully we can connect with you all at some point in the KvK, and that'll be awfully nice. I mean, that's the dream, right? And it's in a dream that we have been fortunate enough to experience in the past, is winning a very long war, making a comeback from being down in a war and winning. We have had that experience before, and it is a wonderful memory. And the last time we were down in a war and then came back and won, our opponents were actually 1252, and now all their players, or most of their players, have joined us in the Handsome Devils. And you know, it's like honestly amazing to have them here. Like they've just made they've made us so much stronger, and they're like super good people, super fun to play with. So, you know, it's like I said, it's a profound game in a lot of ways. And I'm always just kind of like chasing those profound moments, you know, because I don't necessarily, I don't have like a super like deep life. And so the profound moments in this game, and the moments that challenge me in this game, and the moments where like I learn something about myself and like hopefully improve who I am, you know, that's a big part of this game, you know. Yeah, I've been kind of like crushing. Did I save this? I didn't save the. I should have saved the pick earlier. I had a pick earlier where it was all purple chests on this egg event. It was literally like, you know, I got like 12 purple chests on a single one of these eggs. Oh man, we have a lot of viewers. Thank you all for hanging out. Appreciate it. Did somebody raid me and I didn't see it or something like that? Okay, we're killing it on the views here. Very glad you're all hanging out. I had no idea. All right. Oh, Plato raided me. Oh, Plato, thank you so much. Oh, Plato, I'm sorry I missed you. I'm sorry I missed the raid. Oh, Plato, thank you so much, dude. Yeah, Plato, I owe you a raid, and Plato, I am planning to hopefully sweat your KvK a lot. Hopefully, I can watch it a lot and have a lot to say about it because you know, maybe our fighting might. I don't know. We're probably going to be fighting at the same time, but I'm sorry that I missed the Plato raid earlier. That is awesome. Let me catch up on the chat a little bit. So Alloys, who's in 365. Oh, TJ, welcome to the stream. Alloys, who is in 365, says, been a fun KvK. I'm out of speeds in RSS, so I'm just killing off my troops now. According to YouTube chat, 365 sucks and 93 only lost because of the allies. Yeah, well, it's hard for me to comment too much about this KvK because I picked 365 to win. It looked like 365 was going to win in the first like 24 hours, but then I looked today and 93 was just like absolutely beasting it in the field. They had massive field, you know, it looked like 93 had things clicking. So, you know, that's basically the extent of my analysis because I haven't followed it too closely, but we will check in a little bit later. Allies also says 93 is also 5 alliances and 365 is 3 alliances. Yeah, I think that's a fair point. GR, thank you for your feedback. I think some of your feedback is quite good. So I'm like way catching up on chat here as I crack some eggs. Ally says it's more than that, over 1K a month to be a whale. Impulse says, I mean, I've seen a 150 million power, 27 billion KP account with max 7 sets and armaments for only 9K. Ally says it's fun building accounts from the beginning, though, too. My account has been mine the whole time, and no one else has managed to log in ever in 150 days. Yeah, no one's ever logged into my account. I used to think I should let somebody log in, but now we have so many garrisons that, like, I don't even need to. Right, here's the last egg. Let's get something good on the last egg. All right, 15 days, 15 hours of speed ups. That's good. And we got a lot of materials there. And we're basically out of gems now. So there you go. Back to the gem farming grind at some point. Implicit's Plato rated you like an hour ago. Yeah. You know, I was immersed in the movie of this first week of this war, I guess. But yeah, let me start sending this Guan home here. And let's see. What else is on the agenda here? I don't think I have a ton of armaments to open up. I might have a couple, though. I don't have any. Yeah, I opened up all my armaments the other day because I wanted to just, like, see if I had anything good for war. Yeah, you were so into it that you didn't notice. I guess I got on one, you know? I don't know. I wasn't sure what to say about this war, and at the end of the day, I guess I was just honest about it. Like I said, I don't have. I mean, like, it's been a good fight, right? I guess. Yeah, I'm not trying to walk back any of my comments. I guess you know, at the end of the day, like, I appreciate the tough opponents, right? Like, whatever form the tough opponents are in, I appreciate them. I think, like, you know, we fought 2064 a long time ago. 2064 is like a Russian kingdom that clearly, like, doesn't spend a ton of money, right? But they, like, played with so much discipline, and they had clearly had such good leadership by Decebalus Let's go to 2064 real quick. Like 2064, they beat us. And they, well, I mean, they had a stronger camp, but like, they outplayed us. They had better teamwork, they had better organization. Let's see how they're doing in KvK. Where's 2064? They are in, okay, so they're in Heroic Anthem. This is where we fought them in, actually. They were in Water Camp when we fought them also. But like 2064, you know, they beat us by like playing extremely freaking well. It's not because they spent a bunch of money. They didn't have unlimited resources. They just played like super freaking well. And to me, that's just like more memorable. Like they were just a more memorable opponent. They just, you know, like I just like root for them, and I say nothing. I say nothing but good things about this kingdom, and I say nothing but good things about Decebalus as a leader, because you know, they just like they taught me a bunch of things, right? Like they taught me a bunch of things about how to play this game better. You know, like ball tactics that now are very in vogue. And quite frankly, I think our opponents do very good with ball tactics. Like I will give a lot of credit to both of our opponents, but especially 2217. They do very good with ball tactics. They understand like all the ways to use a ball well, right? But for me personally, I learned ball tactics from Decebalus. Like they just formed a huge ball. They were super disciplined about it. They moved in that incremental way that Danke also likes to do. And, you know, that's how they did it. Like, that's how they won. That's how they have 5 stars. Like, WH doesn't have 5 stars because they spent a bunch of money or have unlimited resources or anything else. WH has 5 stars because they have good leadership and they have a team that plays very well together, that is disciplined, that, you know, follows the markers and the voice commands of a very good leader. And to me, that's just like super impressive. Like that's more impressive than just being like this crazy strong kingdom that can like literally do whatever they want and like they'll just win anyway. So that's just that's where I come from. That's where I come from on it, you know. But that's again, that's like not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of it, right? Like if you play this game casually and you know have a family and you do a bunch of like cool things with your life and Rise of Kingdoms is like a side hobby for you, then like guess what, you're playing life way better than I am. And should you have to take, you know, some vague, very vague shots from me about how you like maybe you don't play the game that well, I don't know. I mean, it probably doesn't freaking matter to you, right? It probably just doesn't even matter to you. You know, because you're beating me anyway. So like, it doesn't even matter. But I think I will play Champions of Olympia now. Let me know if anybody in the chat wants to play Olympia with me. And yeah, we'll get that going. Let me get some gear on the correct commanders here. Yeah, so why is my Boudica not... Yeah, I guess that's correct on my Boudica. Yeah, so I've been going back and forth on this... I've been going back and forth on the Boudica as far as like whether to use Silent Trial or like the March of the Ages. The Boudica does get caught out quite a bit. Well, the other thing I will say about this KvK, right? Because we're like right in the... We are right in like the tip of the meta. We're in the tip of the meta. And one thing I will say is that you can definitely see the effect of Lu Chi in this game. Like the AoE slow on Lu Chi is so freaking impactful. Like let's just remind everybody, he has a AoE first skill that hits up to 5 troops. The damage gets reduced per target, but the 40% march speed slow does not get reduced. So Lu Chi does an AoE march speed slow of 40% onto up to 5 targets. That is such a big deal, and I can feel that. I can feel that when I fight. As someone who has very good movement, as someone who has 3 cavalry marches, as someone who, you know, I run away from my opponents quite a bit, I can feel this Lucci AoE, where like sometimes my marches get caught out, and they are just absolute dust. And the march that gets caught out the most, without question, is my Boudica Zug. Like, there's just no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And so this march, even though I know this is an amazing march, I know Boudica YSG is an amazing, or Boudica Zug is an amazing march. You know, there's just no world for me where Boudica Zug does better than Guan Scipio. Like, Guan Scipio just does better. Guan Scipio just always... Oh, okay. Let me, oh my gosh. Well, I appreciate nobody stream sniping me because this Guan is just wandering in the middle of freaking nowhere. All right, let me get home. Let me get home safe. Let me get home safe, and then we'll do, then we'll do Champions of Olympia. Imbo says, what do you think about 1818 losing against you and doing too well in the 93 KvK? Do you think that loss changed a lot of things there? I don't know if a lot of things changed there. I mean, maybe they brought in some good players. I mean, I know Bye Bye Z joined the KvK, or joined the Kingdom, and Bye Bye Z is a very good player. I know they had a leadership change in like the middle of our KvK. But I think they probably learned a few things, right? I think they probably just got a little bit better. But at the end of the day, like, our allies in that KvK were 1718. And 1718 is like a elite A kingdom. You know, one of the things that Fatty, the leader of 2217, said in Lost Kingdom chat was, he was like, you know, I thought we were fighting against a top 10 A kingdom, or I thought we were fighting against an elite A kingdom. When I was referring to elite A kingdoms in the last KvK, I think I was mainly referring to 1718 and 1818, which I think there's no doubt those are both elite A kingdoms. I think we could certainly argue that 770 is a top 10 A kingdom. Especially on like the non-Imperium end of A kingdoms, right? Like, now you have 2 Alliance kingdoms that are Imperiums. But I mean, like, yeah, 1718 is a great freaking kingdom. And definitely, like, we perform best when we have a Korean ally in our camp that sort of leads the way. That is when we play our absolute best. All right, I'm just going to chill. Can I get in the... No, I can't get in there. I'm just going to chill in Marcus's city and do Champions of Olympia. IGC Sam says, Brian, that's my KvK, lol. Oh, Sam, which kingdom are you? Actually, I know what king you're in, Sam. Let me take a look. Let's take a look at what Sam is working with here. Sam, are you allied with 2064, or are you against them? I'm guessing you could be with them, or you could be against them. I have no idea. So Adrian says, if you had to migrate to another kingdom, which one would it be, or what archetype of a kingdom? What would you be looking for? Well, that's a good question, Adrian. I mean, there's two answers to that, right? There's 2 answers. Oh, you know what, dudes? I can play COO, but I'm not gonna have my best gear. It is what it is. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I'm not gonna take the best gear off the Yan garrison just to I'm not gonna take the gear off the Yan garrison just to play COO. I draw the line. I draw the line there. I draw the line there. Let me switch to mixed. Let me switch to mixed here, and I will let me switch to mixed, and I'll just like support. I'll support everybody. Ally says 93 deserved the best ally, so they got an easy win. Just makes sense because 93 is awesome. They couldn't possibly lose because they fought someone better. Okay. Yeah, Alice, I don't exactly know what you're saying there. I mean, I thought the consensus was that 365 had the better allies. But I mean, I think the matchup was correct, right? I think it basically, like, both sides ended up deciding on a very good matchup, right? Like, I think I'm sure that's been like a great KvK. I haven't been able to watch a ton of it because I've like been in my own war, but I'm sure it's a great KvK. To get back to Adrian's question, if you had to migrate to another kingdom, which one would it be? Or what archetype of a kingdom would you be looking for? So, I mean, there's two questions, right? There's like, if I migrated by myself versus if I migrated with like the group that I'm with. And those are two different questions. If it was with a group, if I migrated with my own group, I would want to go to a kingdom like 1718 and just like replicate exactly what we have here in 770, just with like a, you know, like with a different Korean group. Like that's what I would do with a group. If I migrated by myself, if I was just like didn't want to play with the Handsome Devils anymore, well, I would have to go to a you know, a kingdom that was friendly to YouTubers. So like 365 would definitely, like 365 like comes to mind for sure. But I noticed that they had like Jake on like a very big delay for this KvK. And I don't know if I would like that. So I mean, at that point, it becomes a little tough. It becomes a little bit tough. I think like 1079 is like in the consideration set. Oh man, this Nevsky got mismanaged. Yeah, so I think 1079 would be like maybe where I would go. But maybe like I would just have to research it. I would have to kind of like connect with some people and I'd have to connect with some people and like find a good group basically. Are these bots or something? No, they don't look like bots. Their names don't look like bots. I still haven't healed the Nevsky. Alright. Nice. Yeah, you guys are seeing how good of a player I am. I didn't even heal the Nevsky. He stood there for like 10 seconds. I didn't even heal him. Some heals? Some heals? Some heals? One healed. Alright, I'm obviously playing horrible here. I'm gonna send 2 to safety. I'm gonna use the Guan in the field. I'm gonna go here. Yeah, I'm honestly not sure where I would go solo. I don't know kingdoms that well. Maybe like 606. I think I would like to go to a strong kingdom where I didn't have to be a leader, and I could just fight in the open field, which is the dream. It's the dream of every ex-leader, is just to like chill and fight in the open field. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, nothing pops to mind immediately. .606 is the first kingdom just because like they don't really have a YouTuber. I don't know their rules, and I know they're very strong. I would love to find a kingdom. I would love to find a smaller kingdom that has like good chill leaders where I can just sort of like contribute and help out, but like not really have a lot of responsibility. I don't know how small you could go to find that, but I mean, I would go to like somewhere like 2268 if they didn't have 2 YouTubers already. Like 2268 seems kind of fun. If I could get a deal with 365 where like I could, I mean, I'm not going anywhere. Like, it's very hypothetical. Like, I don't think it's remotely likely that I would leave the Handsome Devils. I like really enjoy the group I'm in. But like, or maybe 307, right? Like, if 307 is on is like on the comeback, like I don't know if they are or not, but like it would be kind of cool to go to a place like 307 and chronicle their KvKs. I mean, if I left my group and went to a different kingdom, I would be like I would be very YouTube focused, right? I'd be kind of like Fleisch or something, right? Where it's like, it's not really about me. It's like more about, okay, so this is infantry and I probably can't beat these dudes. I will run if this is going bad. It's going good though, so let's just keep going. Target them, please. Federico, yes, I was in 1159. Yeah, I was in 1159 for like maybe 18 months, 2 years. That was like where we played our first KvKs. I played 5 KvKs in 1159, and I won 1, lost 4, and then I came to 770. So I'm definitely a bit of a house cat as a player. Haven't gone to many kingdoms. I've only ever been a part of one group. So, you know. It's very interesting in that regard, because like ROK does change so freaking quickly. So freaking quickly. You know, you think about like what kind of kingdoms were strong a year ago. You think about like 1860. I'm gonna just fight this guy. Let's just fight this guy. Wait, why didn't they not all target him? If I were by myself, I don't know. I feel like there would be like a good kingdom out there, but it's just like hard to exactly picture it. 1159 D seed. I think they might be a D seed now. We were actually an A seed when we started. Adrian, like in the first KvK we played, we were like in, so like back in the day when the game started, the first, like the biggest KvK would be like Kingdom 1001 or 11,001, and we were in like 11,005, which meant that in the first KvK, or in the first KvK 2, we were the 5th biggest KvK 2, and so we were allied with like Fire Nation in 1077. We fought against 1260, which was a big KvK, a big kingdom back in the day. So back in the day, we were very big. We were like a 4 alliance kingdom. Actually, we were a 5 alliance kingdom. And but yeah, then we lost KvK 3. KvK 3 was kind of like a disaster. We lost to like DJ Dolomite's group. I forget their kingdom name or their kingdom number, but we lost to DJ Dolomite's group, who's in 93 now. And like basically the Handsome Devils, we were like the 3rd biggest alliance, but Addy did the entire plan for the zone entrance. We were outnumbered 3 versus 5 in that KvK, and basically the 2 big alliances in our kingdom, they like didn't fight at all. Like they just didn't fight at all, pretty much. And then they made a bunch of excuses for why they didn't fight, and that killed the kingdom, right? Then we started leaving, and it was just sort of obvious that it was just a shit kingdom, and the kingdom just slowly died after that. And yeah, the king was given, anyway, I'm not going to go through a deep 1159 history, nobody freaking cares, but yeah, they're basically a D kingdom now. Appreciate the sub. I will check on the name in 1 second. Let me give a buff to one of my teammates there. And yeah, we're steady chilling at 2-0 in Champions of Olympia. Even with the... Alright, so I'm going to go middle here because we're looking a little bit scratchy middle. Federico, welcome to the stream. Okay. I think I just want to die here. Federico says we had too many big egos in 1159. Federico, what was your name in 1159? I mean, I assumed that you were in the in Divagi's alliance just based on your name, but we probably worked like fairly closely together in at least one of the KvKs. What's your name in the game, Federico? Oh, Lucius. Oh, Lucius, man. Welcome. Oh, dude, good to talk to you, man. Yeah. Yeah, Lucius was a leader in 1159. Really good dude, man. Lucius, good, really good to hear from you. Yeah. Yep, Lucius was one of the good ones for sure. He was a good leader, good player. Kind of played for the team. We did have some big egos, but you know, a lot of good players came from 1159. You know, Addy and I are still you know, we're still leading an alliance here, and what's the name? What was the guy's names? Like Pocky or Heja, the two German guys, with like their names start with P. I believe they have always been also leading an alliance in another kingdom. So I mean, there was a lot of good talent in 1159, and I also think Marine. I think Marine was like a kind of a big player in 1846 in the early days of that kingdom. And also like Mohawk or Mohan. Mohawk or Mohan is also a leader in some kingdom as well. But Lucius, I hope you're doing well. Yeah, are you still playing? What kingdom are you in now? All right, this is weird. Like, I'm completely uncontested. I'm moving very effing slow. I'm moving very slow. I'm moving very slow. Why is the Guan so freaking slow? I'm just gonna speed boost so they like don't do anything crazy to me. I still play with Devagi and Kiara. They got married, and Zelsh in 1381. Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, I never like really got along with Devagi, but I always liked you, Lucius. And you know, I don't know how you I don't know what your memories of this, Lucius, are, but I have very good memories of the original Light vs. Darkness, where our two alliances merged into one. I thought we made the best out of a tough situation there, and I thought that merger went very well. So as a leader, I have like extremely good memories of that Light vs. Darkness, because you know, we had all those rune battles, and we lost most of the rune battles, but we had so many people who had fun fighting at the runes You know, we had a lot of like semi-casual, semi-serious players who would rather fight in the open field than take like actual deads. And okay, why am I going there? That's stupid. That's stupid. Let me go mid. Let me contest mid. Please cancel that dude's shit. Oh, you did. Nice. No, he didn't. He didn't. Yeah, I'm gonna contest this. I'll contest this. This guy's moving very slow. Let me just contest it right off the bat. We can maybe gum up the works here all the way to the end. Maybe? Maybe not. Maybe not. Shit. Guess I'll go here. They're gonna get that apple. Or getting rallied? Is it really? Oh my... Oh, you're right. Okay, thank you, Noonie. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Alright, let me rain. I'm raining. I'm raining. I'm raining. Alright. I saw that flash and I didn't even realize. Let me set a... Let me... Alright. I'm just gonna keep... I'm steady raining, and I'm swarming this motherfucker. These mother... I knew they were gonna fucking do this too, man. Fucking A. I knew they were gonna fucking do this. Oh, and thank you for not, like... Thank you for not even realizing that I'm swarming your fucking rally. Thank you for not even realizing that I'm swarming your rally. That's cool. Alright, let me do a announcement as I play my farm. I'm not saying this was a bad idea. I'm not... Oh, fuck. I'm not saying this was a bad play. I'm not saying this was a bad play. But we're gonna make it hurt. Yeah, if anybody's watching, let's try to get some rains here. Rains are not amazing here, guys. I hope we won that COO game. It was very close. Me leaving is not like a great look, but what are you gonna do? Alright, I don't want to take friggin' deads on stream. What's the garrison at? Oh shit. Right, let me... I'm 2 beers deep, by the way, just for the record. Alright, that's fine. Yeah, we just didn't have rains. Like, it was so... Oh, peaceful. Fuck. Alright, let's take a look at that report. Let's take a look at that report. Yeah, the rains were so scratchy there. I mean, it's a positive trade. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, y'all? What are you gonna do? This is why we filled it. This is why we got some heals on it. This is why I respect the enemy. I full respect the enemy for rallying the fort while I'm in COO. I full respect that. Alright, so now they're gonna rally the flag. Alright, so that's burning, so I might as well go over to W4R. That's a win-win. That's a win-win-win. They got the burn, we got the positive trade, and I got the content. So there you go. I mean, not an amazing trade, but it's still win. Still win. I mean, for very, 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 very mediocre reigns. Very mediocre reigns. I think it was like Nolar. And then my farm probably should have reigned. I don't know. I thought my farm had more cab than that, basically. Who are the R4s here? Okay, I can leave. I can leave WR4. That's fine. Anuni, if you're are you able to let us into? Okay, thanks. Yeah, it's too bad that P was full. I didn't notice that P was full. I should have done something about that. Could somebody kill that level 41 Barb? The extra 150k deads? Listen, I'm just glad that I didn't take open field dead swarming that friggin' thing. That's all I'm saying. It's a good attack. F you. F you trying to block my teleport spot. Get off. Oh, we won. We won. Easy. Easy. Alright. What are they rallying? They're rallying the flag, right? Both? Oh, they're rallying the fort. Okay. Alright. What can I do here? What can I do here? Not a lot. Not a lot. Not a lot. All right. All right. War is war. I would say all is fair in war. Seems good enough. The auxiliary skills are not great on the Flavius, but he is there in case he is needed. Dude, they did not like what I had to say. I can guarantee. I can freaking guarantee you, word got back to them because they didn't like when I said they were inactive in Eve. They didn't like when I said they were inactive in Eve. Like me saying they were inactive in Eve was like this grave insult. So. But now they got to go up against Algebra, so that's what's up. Don't swim the call, it's not worth it. I don't know, I just like, I saw the reins were so scratchy that I like had this, you know, bizarre thought that maybe we could survive the rally if I swarmed it, but. Who's rallying? Oh, they're probably rallying Pakal. Dude, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Watch how good this trade's gonna be, y'all. Watch how good this trade's gonna be. Even when we're like not, you know. I mean, if you can spot their reins, kill their freaking reins. Like that's what I would say. Just try to kill their reins. Try to spot their reins. Like this Alex. This Alex is what's called a freaking rein. Look at this trade. Look at this fucking trade, man. Look at this Alex. Like not even look at them. None of them even know. None of them even realize that I'm hitting them. That's fine. Whatever. ZZZ with these goods. To be honest. Oh yeah, KvK walking to the rally, that's what we call a reinforcement. We'll have better reinforcements on this fort for sure. Yeah, so Algebra, I do have a backup nearby if you ever need it, but we'll wait till the last friggin' minute. That's what's called a reinforcement right there. That's what's called a reinforcement right there. Good job. Oh wait, I was looking at the wrong thing. Oops, I don't want to do that. Yeah, pretty good reigns here. Support's gonna be great. Oh, it's so low. Oh my gosh. I'm not even gonna swarm this. You know what? Thank you guys for giving me the receipts for like anything I implied earlier in the stream. Thank you for the receipts. I appreciate the receipts. Yeah, just run it down to 0. That's fine. Just run the... yep. Okay, the rally's back to sort of full, but not really. The music stopped for some reason. I'm not sure who can swap, so I think we just let it go. You've already got some admirers chirping in there now. All right, here's that report. Here's that report. I'm gonna just make a prediction that we won that by 800k. Okay, that's a pretty good prediction. We won that by 790k. LG bro. Shout out to Vivian. No, that was fun. That was fun. That was fun. That was fun. I did. Hey, listen, it gets intense. It gets intense. It gets intense. It gets intense. No, hey guys, let's keep it chill. Listen, I'm not perfect with the way I'm saying everything about this war, but I appreciate the gift from Vivian, and all respect to 1393. All respect to everyone in this game, and particular respect to those strong kingdoms out there that make it interesting for each other. That was good. That was good. Alright, so they still have to kill this flag, which, you know. HDT, are you on? You want to fill with Ryu's account? Can we clear this? Can we clear this? I'm just using 4 marches from now on. I'm retiring the XY Minamoto for the rest of the KvK. Oh, the Guan needs gear. Yep. I mean, it's been a good war. It's been a good war. Both sides have advantages in certain ways, so it's been a good war. How did the XY get out here? I guess we can't clear this field. Yeah, algebra. I mean, it is, you know. I've honestly said too much. I've said too much on this stream. What is this? Oh, it's a Justinian rally. Guys, try to swarm this rally. Like, it's very swarmable. Like HTT, if you can swarm this rally, go ahead and do it. Like definitely go ahead and do it, HTT. Can I target the Justinian? What the hell? Oh, I forgot that my city's to the bottom. I thought it was to the top. Kind of feel bad that I streamed because I feel like if they hadn't done this for the lulz, we might have been able to keep these flags for longer. Because like obviously we were like not all like ready to be online and fill. But it was a good attack. Good attack by them. Federico, thank you for the dono. And I will share the greetings. All the people from 159. Actually, Banks is in the chat. Lucius Banks is from 159. Yenhao Chen, thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the content. Vivian, thank you for the content. Well, they got the burns on us. They got the burns. They got the burns. And after the stream is over, we will discuss when and how to fill these structures back up. Yeah, honestly, I really you know, I feel bad sometimes that I can be kind of negative because I honestly feel very privileged to be able to showcase some of these really good wars that, you know, are non-Imperium, where there's like a lot of like very strong kingdoms fighting. You know, I actually just the fact that Yenhao is saying like third gift from Vivian, just it gives me a different perspective, honestly. But here's the report on the flag, the Dido flag, Danky garrison, Danky with the Dido Zug. Earlier we actually had Danky and Addy. They were like swapping off. So like when it was just a straight rally, Danky would use the Dido Zug, and then literally like as soon as they started swarming, Addy would swap in the Dido Hera, and you know they were just doing that. You know, I just heard them on voice doing it. I was just kind of doing what I was doing in that fight, where I was just kind of running around in the open field trying to add a little value. But it was just like really cool, you know. It was like 2 words. They would just say 2 words to each other, and they would swap the garrison and get like, you know, the absolute GTO garrison for what the enemy was doing. But I think Addy's probably asleep, so we went with the Dido Zoog the whole way. Pretty good reigns, actually. Shout out to Zero. Shout out to this farm. Old school 770 player there. Shout out to Lelouch. Lelouch, I thought Lelouch left the kingdom. Shout out to SE Farm. Yeah, so really good reigns there. And oh, interesting. So because of the swarm, I think because of the swarm. So this is interesting. This report is interesting because the archer garrisons have been doing very well, right? Very, very well. But so they were doing a little one-trooping against the Zoog AoE, I guess. I'm not even sure how that works, but let's look at the swarms here. Let's look at the swarms here against the Dido Zoog. Let's look at the swarms against the Dido Zoog. So Guan Scipio got a positive trade against a pretty full Dido Zoog. Nevsky William gets the positive trade, like not a huge surprise. So yeah, I mean, this is what's this is what I kind of like about this is like a cool part of the game right now, right? Is that Dido Zoog is like pretty swarmable, but then you can if you're like very coordinated and you have like a good roster of garrisons, you can swap to the Dido Hera, right? And so that's look at the Huo, look at the Huo Joan against the Dido. No, he was in Devaji's. He was in Banks. He was in Devaji's alliance. Yeah, so the Nevsky Joan is still the goat swarmer. Yeah, so I mean, to me, this is like a good mechanic. Like this is a very good part of ROK, which is like, and it's the same thing with Flavius Scipio, right? Like Flavius Scipio is an amazing garrison, but it can be swarmed, and so you have to. You know, you gotta be able to swap. You gotta be able to swap. And you know, that's alpha that I probably shouldn't be sharing, but we're pretty late in the stream here, and we've gotten some gifts from Lucius and from Vivian. So happy to share a little bit of alpha that I shouldn't share, which is that you gotta swap. You gotta have the right garrison for the right situation. You can just live stream and continue to watch yourself being tortured. You're about to lose your territory, so what does the battle report mean? Losers find excuses, winners smile at you struggling. I have too many soldiers. I have too many soldiers, right? Yeah, so like, yeah, you know, you take bad trades, but if you have too many soldiers, you win anyway, and you get to talk trash. And, you know, that's fine. That's fine. Shout out to Uni for letting me know that the fort was being rallied while I was playing COO. Let me collect my COO rewards. Oh, that was fun. That was honestly fun. You know, that was fun. I mean, we had all those viewers from Plato's raid, so I'm glad we could give them, like, you know, some pretty good content. It's a slow part of the war. We're just kind of chilling here, but it's good to give people a little bit of content for hanging out. Hopefully everybody has been enjoying the stream. We are very much in the thick of it in Siege of Orleans. Second auxiliary skills just got unlocked. Most Zone 6s have largely been decided. Do they still have territory over here? Or is this... This is 20... Okay, so they do still have territory over here. So this... Yeah, this zone over here is still... They still have a little bit left to go over here as well. And I would say the fight is still going on here, as you can see. We're still fighting. It's been a good war. We may disagree about certain details of it. We may disagree about what matters most, or who played better, or who's going to win in the end, but it's been a very good fight. Tons of respect to my teammates who, in many ways, have played better than me. Thank you for tolerating me at my worst and listening to me at my best. Thank you for playing very well. Thank you for being really cool people who it's fun to play with. And we're going to keep fighting. The ROK wheel is going to keep on spinning. And I will see you all. Actually, let me first see if I can redirect anybody. And then I will see you all on the flip side. But let me check something real quick. All right, Jake the Dog is streaming. I am going to send everybody over to Jake the Dog. I'm going to pass on the good favor that Plato did for me, and I'm going to send that towards Jake the Dog. If I can find him. Let me see if I can find Jake the Dog. Why can't... Oh, Bye Bye Z is streaming too. Why can't I redirect? I would totally redirect you guys to Bye Bye Z here. Sorry guys, just trying to redirect. Okay, let me I'm going to redirect you guys to Bye Bye Z. He is playing in the 1365 versus 1093 KvK. The stream is in Vietnamese, but honestly, it's still pretty enjoyable to watch him because, you know, I think it might be live or like on a very slight delay, so good action. And yeah, go ahead and go over there and let them know that Brian rated you. And I will see you all on the flip side.